I loved Whoopi Goldberg back in the Sister Act days when she actually applied herself as an actor, but now Sister's just acting out, attempting to argue with Dr. and Junior Senator of Kentucky, Rand Paul.
I just want to ask you this because I'm a gun owner. You know, I don't mind that you know that I have a gun. You can come in my house and look for it. You can get all whatever you need. I don't understand why anyone objects to getting rid of automatic weapons. Automatic weapons, they're not for hunting. They do nothing. They're only there to kill. And you'll notice that a lot of the things that have happened with automatic weapons. When we see that, why don't we say, you know, who really needs to have one other than people who are at war?
Yeah, what do you think about
Truly automatic weapons we don't have. You know, we banned truly automatic weapons, I think, in 1930.
Right, but we still got a lot of them, Rand. Come on,
well,
man.
what we have is not automatic weapons, so we have semi-automatic. So they fire in a fairly fast sequence, but you can't pull the trigger and they come like a machine gun. Those are no longer out.
You know, the fact that Whoopi says she owns a firearm scares the crap out of me, especially when she doesn't even know the difference between semi and automatic. Lord help us. Just a little lesson real quick for those of y'all that may not know the difference yourselves between a semi and an automatic. Semi only goes as fast as you can. So it's more like a boom, 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 or you gamers out there can, you know, get it real quick. But automatic is full send. It's brrrr. And every shooting I've ever seen that goes on in schools and everywhere is by no means an automatic. It's a semi-automatic rifle, handgun, something like that. What? Whoopi Goldberg owns firearms?
What I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know
what it is that there's a repetitive fire. People do hunt with them, and people do also shooting and sport shooting and target shooting and things with these guns. And come to Kentucky, and I'll introduce you to there are a lot of people who like and enjoy this as a sport. But the other problem is if we're going to take away ownership of specific types of guns, you really have to modify something that big as to either be legislation or even possibly a constitutional amendment. We can't allow one individual to do it. And here, I'll give you an example why. Let's say we had a terrible president that you didn't like from another party, and that president said, The View, you should hear the things they're saying on The View. We should limit their speech. We should register the journalists, and then we should have an approval board. And you know, that's silly. We would all be opposed to that. But that's the danger of letting a president make the rules. Even if you agree with what he's doing now, you should worry about having a president have so much power to create the law without Congress doing it.
He's done it a couple. I'm sorry, man. There's no reason anybody needs to have an automatic weapon. I'm sorry. I get everything
I'm going to jump in here and we're going to...
Whoopi, I want y'all to ask yourself a question. Do you have health insurance because you plan on getting cancer or some serious illness, or do you want to have it just in case that were to ever arise and that situation brings itself to your door? Same thing with gun rights. Do you plan on somebody breaking into your home and trying to harm your loved ones or being out in public and a public crisis happens, or you just want to be prepared in case that evil ever comes knocking, you're prepared to keep that thing at bay? I know Whoopi Goldberg might not understand this concept or concern because I'm sure she's constantly surrounded by armed security and never has to worry about this sort of thing. I know she says she owns a gun. That in itself, her not knowing the difference between semi and automatic is scary, but us regular law-abiding citizens and folks, we just want to keep the evils out of our front door. That's it. That's why we own guns. That's what we want to be able to protect. She clearly doesn't understand the reason for the Second Amendment. It's not about hunting. It's about protecting our country against tyranny. If we ever get a government that's even more evil than what we've seen up to this point, if we have no guns and no weapons to protect ourselves and they got all the power, that includes law enforcement, that includes the military, the government, the people in charge, and we can't protect ourselves if they ever wanted to take over. Just ask yourself that. It should be common sense, but it's really not. I just don't get it. I think more people need guns. More people with common sense and law-abiding citizens need to be armed because evil is always lurking.
Let's go one more thing about the mock turtleneck sweaters that you wear. You're apparently famous for this.
I was born it today. I was told I couldn't wear it.
What do you, Mrs. Paul, what do you think about those? Just a yes or a no. It's a good look, but we just want to say thank you for being great sports. You guys are a lovely couple.
We talked about his wanting to pull troops out of Syria, and everyone's saying, if we do that, we're abandoning the Kurds. That's not a good idea. And a lot of folks are saying he crossed the line with a bad decision, but you don't say that. Why?
You know, one of the things I've always supported about President Trump is actually one of the things I liked about President Obama, that we said we were overextended, that the Iraq war was a mistake. I think it's one of the reasons President Obama beat Hillary Clinton, because Hillary Clinton had supported the Iraq war. I still think the Iraq war, regime change in the Middle East, and these wars are senseless. So does President Trump. He doesn't want to get us involved in another Iraq war in Syria. If anything, Syria is more complicated. The other is a practical concern. You have 50 soldiers. They're talking about moving 50 soldiers. Who goes to war with 50 soldiers? You have 50 soldiers and tens of thousands of Turkish troops amassing.
Not gonna get
the
nothing
Turks
done.
are
He's
also
gonna get 'em killed.
allies. The Free Syrian Army were our allies for 7 years. They're allied with the Turks. The Kurds have been our allies. The Kurds, in all likelihood, are now going to be allies of Assad to try to carve out a place in Syria for themselves. It's a really complicated question. I guess from my perspective, I say, any of these people out here, their kids have to go to war. War's not a chess game. People lose their limbs and people die, and I think it's the least we owe to the kids that we're going to send into this war. Why are we going to war and who are we fighting?
But isn't there...
So,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. So if you have allies and they are working with you and fighting with you, and 24 hours somebody wakes up and says, no, we're out.
Right.
Is that the right way to do this?
I think the way we look at war is we don't look at
No. Is that the right way to do it? Okay.
When we decide whether or not we're sending our young people into harm's way, we should obey the Constitution, which says we should declare war and put them in a war theater. But let me finish.
Okay.
And here's the thing about it, is if you ask these people, Lindsey Graham and the Cheney war and all these warmongers that want to stay at war forever, who are we going to declare war on? They don't know who. We're going to declare war on Turkey, our ally.
Should we
the
ever
Free Syrian
walk
Army, our
out
ally?
in the middle? It's like walking out.
We should never be there in the first place.
That's not the question, though. No, that's all good.
But see, the left agreed with
we're
me for
in
so
there.
many years. For so many years, the left agreed with me.
I am
that
neither
these
left nor right. I'm just American. I want to know, should we be taking, should we be walking
Come
out?
on now, you know what
you...
Shh. Now, I know the title of this video has humiliated in it, but Whoopi, I don't think she needs any help being humiliated. She's doing pretty darn good on her own.
Here's the thing is, left and right have agreed in the past that regime change doesn't work. When we got rid of Hussein, we got chaos and more terrorism. When we got rid of Gaddafi, chaos and more terrorism.
But Senator, we're here now, though.
Well.
But we're here.
Yeah. We're not really here. We got 50 people. We're not
here.
doing anything.
Yeah, but frankly,
50 people
hold
is
on,
very symbolic.
Hold on.
Pointless.
That is why
Yeah,
it
and
kept
you tell their parents
Turkey
that.
from invading.
You tell their parents
Isn't that true?
You tell the parents of those 50 kids how great the symbolism was when a suicide bomber blows up all 50
But
kids.
didn't it
You
keep
tell
Turkey
why-
from
No,
invading?
No, I'm not.
And pulling them gave
You tell
Turkey
their
the
parents.
green light.
You tell their
Isn't
parents
that
why
true?
they're there.
But isn't that true?
You tell their parents why they're
Isn't
there.
it true that Turkey
You
sent
tell
not
their
how do you
parents
feel
why
about
they're
we
there.
have
How do you feel about the video that we're
actually,
seeing of the Kurds getting slaughtered?
I find the position of pulling out of these wars, that's a popular one, and I am there. There's a difference in having a strategy and leaving the Kurds there to die, which is where they are now. They are left there to die, and that is now, here's what I'd argue. Now it's the GOP's problem.
That's simply wrong.
ISIS fighters, as being reported, thousands are going to escape from these prisons because the Kurds can't protect
that
themselves.
is
Up to 70,000, according to a NATO official.
What's the people who don't like the
Is that a
policy?
safer world with
That's the
ISIS
people,
running around?
That's the people who want to stay forever. These are the same people.
I don't want to stay forever,
let
but
me
isn't
finish
there a
answering the
strategy?
question, okay? I let you talk, you let me talk. These are the same people. These are the same people that would still have us in Vietnam. These are the same people who always say, stay at war, stay at war, stay at war. It has not helped us. We've been in Afghanistan for 19 years. The same people complaining about this. The Cheneys, Lindsey Graham, you know what they say about Afghanistan? It would be precipitous to leave. We've been there 19 years. There's no mission, and I'm not sending one more kid.
But there's more
I'm not
questions.
voting to
How about
send
the
one
idea
more
of
kid to Afghanistan.
breaking our word as Americans, of breaking our words to our allies, of having people who've risked their lives, who've been there for years, and what message does that send internationally to other allies if we abandon them?
I think the only duty we
about
owe,
our
and the only
people?
oath I take, is to the Constitution. I didn't promise to take the country to war. I promised not to take the country to war. So did President Trump, by the way.
And but the Constitution says protecting you from enemies, foreign and domestic.
Yeah.
And there's many of us who feel that this puts us in greater danger because of what it means vis-a-vis ISIS. I mean, we don't live, we're not alone on this planet.
And anybody who tries to make the argument that someone in Syria is a danger to our country is really not paying attention.
Oh, I think Assad is in Syria and is a hell of a danger to our country and our world.
Well, actually,
Why?
if you look at the war is very complicated. So you had Assad on one side. On the other side, you had Sunni extremists, Al-Qaeda and Al-Nusra. These are the people that have been allied with the Saudi version of Islam that has been promoting Islamism and Islamist strategy around the world and jihadism. That was the side of the war we were fighting. So if that side of the war actually won, I think we actually might be in more danger. I don't like Assad, but the other people on the other side are Sunni extremists that I don't like either.
How close is too close for Iran to be near Israel? Because this now creates a huge vacuum where Iran wants to take over Damascus, which is what they're now going to be capable of doing, and they're going to be that much closer to Israel, which is in fact one of our closest allies. Does that concern you at all?
I think the whole situation is so confusing that none of us are really getting this right. Actually, Turkey doesn't want Iran to take over everything. Israel doesn't want Iran to take over everything. And in fact, Israel actually stands up for themselves all the time.
We may end up being in a bigger war.
Let me finish. Don't interrupt. So Iran gets up against the war.
I am interrupting because we...
My goodness, let me gather my thoughts. This show is toxic, y'all. These women literally hurt my brain. And I'm just amazed that Rand was able to speak for more than 10 seconds without being interrupted. He had to tell multiple women multiple different times, just, shh, can I finish? Like, he was there for the interview. He was the guest. Why don't you allow him and give him the respect to speak, to relay his point, and then you can respond and rebuttal and do what you got to do. It's your show, but my goodness, like, what's the point of even coming on? But Rand, my maximum respect to you, sir, for having the nerves and the patience to come onto a show like this, a very toxic and just all around misleading show, and trying to reason with these Looney Tunes, with these, that's no disrespect to women, that's just these women. They're just, it's amazing. They were disrespectful, obnoxious, and rude, and all of them were like boisterously talking over Rand because they felt their comments were the only ones of importance. But he's the doctor, he's the junior senator, he's the one that has to face these problems day in and day out, or at least has to see them and make important decisions. They're just there to give their opinion pieces and their viewpoint. It's not difficult to see who on this panel is actually intelligent. Only Rand Paul, in my personal opinion. As far as our position on war, my utmost love and respect to anybody who's currently fighting or lost their lives or been impacted by war of any kind, but specifically here in America. You have my utmost respect, my love, support, everything for fighting on the front lines. That goes for Army, Navy, just any sort of military, medical workers, officers, firefighters, everybody who's ever served and fought the good fight. Again, you have a friend, you have everything in my prayers and everything that I could ever give as words and anything else, you have it over here. I can't make the call. I don't know whether we should or shouldn't be over there. From what I can see, though, having 50 troops over there or having just a couple hundred troops, what's the point? Like, why are we not bringing our people home, keeping them safe here in America? Those are our people. We got to look for out for our own first, and everybody else needs to look out for their own as well. Now, I understand from a biblical perspective, we're supposed to love thy neighbor, but our neighbors are here in America, right here. Not over in Syria, not over in Iran, not over anywhere else we've ever positioned ourselves for warfare. We got to take care of our own. That's my opinion. Y'all let me know your thoughts down below. Now, just to add to the gun control topic, I believe in gun control, but it may be a little different than y'all. I believe gun control requires two hands. In one hand, I got my Bible, basic instructions before leaving Earth. This helps me to protect out from all the devils, all the evil that's lurking in this world. But on the other hand, I also believe I gotta have this close by to protect from the dummies. So 2 hands are required for my sort of gun control. Bible, protect from the demons. Gun of your choice is a 6 Sauer 9mm, semi-automatic. You know, whatever happens, it happens from my trigger finger. This is to protect from the dummies. That's just me, though. I believe in the Bible, and I believe in our Second Amendment rights, just so y'all know where I stand. I'd love to hear what y'all got to say, though, so comment your thoughts down below, and let's keep this conversation rolling. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell for all my future videos, and share this video if you agree or disagree with my take on this video right here. But either way, I love y'all. I'm praying for you. Godspeed. I'm gone.